Thank you, Alex, and welcome everyone. My name is Rohit Ashok Kaur. I'm a PhD student in the Exertion Games Lab in RMIT, Australia. And today I'm presenting before you a new perspective on understanding physical activity through 3D printed material artifacts. This is a joint work with my supervisors, Floyd, who you could see in the audience, and Larissa. So let us begin. We all know that physical activity is a key ingredient in order to maintain and regain physical health. And thankfully, today we also have devices like pedometers and heart rate monitors, which can now accurately support this experience of being physically active by measuring our physical activity and communicating this information to us. However, if we look into the current commercial applications as well as the academic explorations, we see an emphasis on using the virtual medium in order to communicate this information to the user. For example, you can see here a screenshot of a Fitbit website which shows various physical activity data in a nice graphical form. The virtual medium has advantages in terms of the interactive capabilities as well as the support for dynamic updates on the data. However, we also think that the virtual medium also puts some limitations in terms of what can be experienced with it. For example, a virtual medium requires the support of a flat display surface, which might be less perceivable in daylight. Also, when an information is projected on a virtual screen, it unnecessarily grabs the visual attention. Additionally, we also felt that the emphasis in current commercial application has been on efficiency and performance goals and making users more aware of their physical fitness. But if some of you might have been to the quantified self session which happened 3 days back, or into the SIG jogging meeting that we held a few days back, there was a concern over that as these devices are becoming increasingly pervasive in our lives, what we design with them shouldn't be limited to just making users more aware of their physical fitness and prompting them to the next achievable physical and health goal. There is also a need to explore an alternate design strategy which can go beyond the quantification goals and could allow participants an opportunity to reflect upon their own physical activity rather than competing or targeting a certain health activity goals. So with this particular philosophy in mind, we advocate a new approach where we create material representations of physical activity. You may ask, why material representation? A material representation can be more public, visible, but also something that can be touched, explored, carried, and even possessed. The third talk in this session by Sai Ganesh could explore and give you much more benefits of having material visualizations. So I don't take time and let Sai Ganesh to do the talking. Additionally, we were also quite motivated by the fact that now personalization or personal fabrication has become much more accessible with the rise of personal 3D printers. Also, we thought there is a nice analogy in the way we spend energy while exercising and the way material artifact gets created by adding plastic layer by layer. So the energy that you can subtract or lose in one form can be used to gain in another form. So with this particular theme or inspiration in mind, we built a system which some of you, if you have been to CHI last year, could have been seen in the interactivity and tested yourself, or could have also saw a video in last day's video showcase. So rather than me speaking about it, let me play the same video again.
Person, and I take my exercise seriously. I like to track my exercise using heart rate monitor. 92. Current mode of virtual interaction is limiting my experience. For example, I can't do much with the data apart from reading the screen. So today I'm exploring a new mode of interaction with the data. I measure the heartbeat. I will use the heartbeat pressure meter. And then this data is sent to the Sweat Atom application, which I can save into the USB stick. And now I can print this video out so everybody saw my heartbeat shape. So this is the heartbeat rate today, which I was having some money in the park in the morning. In the afternoon, I was like wandering around and did some shopping. And during the day, I was sitting in the office. These are the raw models of my heartbeat last 2 days. As my heart rate goes up, the length becomes longer. This is a dye model. I got it yesterday. So that each phase represents one zone and amount of time I spend in that zone. These are my frog models, and as I exercise more, the frog becomes bigger. Each bubble you see here is how many hours I spend for exercising.
So as you saw in the video, besides building a system, I also explored 5 different designs. Those are graph, a flower, a frog, a dice, and a ring. If somebody wants to have a look, please get in touch with me after the talk. These representations were results of numerous design trials and discussions with experts in the area of interaction design, physical activity, as well as digital fabrication. We also followed Gonzalo's theory of strategies for behavioral change in order to coming up with design. More about our design process, you can refer it in our paper. Next, in order to understand what could be the potential effect of this new perspective or the new representation on everyday physical activity, we also conducted an exploratory in the wild study. We recruited around 6 homes in Melbourne and installed our system in their home along with the 3D printer. So in the morning, we asked participants to wear a heart rate monitor and continue their day as usual, which might also involve some kind of physical activity. At the end of the day, we asked them to print all these 5 objects. Following a cultural probing practice, we also gave them diaries in order to reflect upon their experience. So despite this taxing nature of the study, participants enjoyed their participation, and these deployments led to many key insights, which are mainly relevant to these 3 design spaces of physical activity, material representation, as well as the personal informatics or quantified self. Here, I will briefly summarize a few key insights. The first insight speaks in terms of the affection with the design. Participants had an immediate affection with the frog model, and it was readily displayed. As you can see, people love to stack them on their screen. It became a topic of conversation and competition, despite of the fact that it contains very little information about their physical activity, such as if they did more physical activity, the size of the frog becomes bigger. But people love the fact that, and one person particularly quoted, like, it is like burning your body fats and putting it on the frog. Participants also felt that this could be a rewarding experience for a tiring physical activity, but the more informative model, like a graph, didn't have the same kind of impact as a frog or a flower had. Mainly because one participant also said that graph is something they used to see on a virtual screen. Secondly, we were also very interested into understanding why these material artifacts had a personal connect with them. So what they when asked, they suggested that they love these artifacts not because they look cool and they could use it in their daily activity because of their tangible nature, but mainly because they embody their data and it became their own personal representation. They often discuss this with their friends and showed that how their activity has resulted in what kind of artifacts. For example, and they were also very fascinated by the fact that it is a representation which they cannot get in the market. It is something unique and authentic. People also welcomed the opportunity to design artifacts themselves. Next, unlike many other personal informatics tools which give you an immediate feedback on physical activity, we particularly harnessed here a delayed feedback, where participant has to wait till the end of the day in order to understand what their activity. The first recommendation is try to create an affection with the data, and a way to do that could be involving to having personalization, finding a utility value of those material artifacts in the home or in the particular ambience that you are looking into, and try to focus on the authenticity, like making the artifacts more personal and unique to the person who is actually printing and whose data is getting embodied in its form. Also, involving participants in the design process could be a useful and handy. Secondly, Stephanie talked in the first session about the slowness of 3D printing, and there has been efforts in terms of making it more efficient, or edible in nature. So, for our next prototype, we are particularly exploring chocolates as a medium for creating a representation.
So again, we have plenty of time for questions. Speakers are really good with time here.
Hi there, my name's Paul Stolmeyer from Queen's University. I really like this work.
Thank you.
Especially because of its non-focus on functionality. So I was wondering, talk a little bit about what your potential relation to the objects were. Like, did they experience them as representations of their day, or did they relate to them as part of their identity or part of themselves? Or did they feel they were something that they were talked to? Was it a more character relation? How did they relate to the objects? And how was that different for the different
Thank you. It was a really nice question. There was a mixed reactions in terms of, because we had also a different design. So each design had a different informative form. Like for participants, really felt the flower model give you that authenticity feeling in terms of the variations of the day, so that the flower model that they had for today wasn't the same what they had for yesterday. As well as the frog model was really particularly interesting in terms of letting them encourage to more physical activity. The people find it is like a manifestation of their data, and certain artifacts like a graph was more catered towards the physical activity. For example, one participant on one day had a really great physical activity session, and his heart rate was really higher, so he had that particularly very precise, and he severed that particular artifact. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Dan Parton from the Institute of Technology in Stockholm. I find myself kind of oscillating here. I really like the previous project with the reuse aspects, and here I find myself like divided, because I was thinking, well, if I print a frog every day, what do I have after a year when I have a relation of frogs in my home? Perhaps even I don't have to myself. But you talk about that. I like that from the point of view. And then you said we should charge them reading, and I'm trying to translate that. So what is that? What is the equivalent? And here's my example. So my brother, he has lots and lots of books. He has so many books that he has bought by a 5-room apartment where he actually lives himself to have space for his books. Because they all have meaning also. So I kind of like, it's not really a question, but is that enough for you to say something about this? Like, because I'm concerned about sustainability, so that's kind of the basic question, I guess.
Sure, thanks. The work actually was inspired by a particular thing in terms of autotopography. There is a concept of autotopography where you create your physical representations through your surroundings. You also like to decorate their homes, their offices, through the artifacts that they like, that matches with their personality and style. But with 3D printing, there is an opportunity to fabricate those devices which can embody that data. So here since this was the first exploratory study, I went with a smaller device, smaller object, which are also sometimes much easier to print. But in future, there could be possibility rather than printing the same artifact again and again. You could print different artifacts which could then be and joined together
to a different structure, maybe to print a table. Yeah, that's what I think that it was fascinating, both in the previous one, and I'm definitely going to be looking forward to that. Thank you.
Any other questions? Don't be shy. Have a question?
So I was wondering if you could elaborate a little on other techniques for creating such a visualization. So even though 3D printing is becoming more and more ubiquitous, maybe, I mean, most people have access to a regular printer, paper, scissors, knives, and other tools. But maybe also in the context of how you can actually move the data to actually create it. And to address Daniel's thought around coloring your apartment, and you think of origami visualization, which will actually collapse the wall. So we also maybe address some of the body mapping to it.
There have been many experiences in transformative visualization. Joanne has a nice website where she has a list of all the physical visualizations that are available. But in 3D printing, there is a possibility that taking the digital data into a physical form. So rather than creating artifacts, joining them together, there is a possibility that taking from physical, the energy from physical world to a digital world, and then taking it back to a digital world. So it's a new possibility which is offered by 3D printing. But if you think to the last day, there was a session on sensory experiences. People were also looking into food messaging. So we could have food messaging also as a way to create an artifact.
But it was generating the concept of the 2D stuff, we used to do that.
Because participants to have their designs ready by the time they end their day. So rather than giving them the choice to design their artifact themselves, we could have a system where the system can let them, much like packaging system, option to choose the material and then choose the kind of design that they would use. But I haven't yet built it, but I think it is
So thank you, speaker again.